1940s with a specific goal in mind to beat the Germans in advancement of nuclear warfare and ultimately end the Second World War, a team of scientists was collected to build the first atomic bomb. They were ultimately successful in their endeavors, which ended in 2 atomic bombs released over Japan in August of 1946. This effort was titled the Manhattan Project. It was fall of 1942 when this great group came to be. America was fighting World War II in both Europe and Asia and knew that Germany was working toward an atomic bomb. The race was on. A man by the name of Leslie R. Groves was put in charge of forming this group. The best scientists from across the nation joined this group to build the first atomic bomb, but they also had hopes that such a weapon could not be made. For the next 4 years, they worked night and day to develop a weapon that would change the world. Now you might be wondering where they were going to build such a piece of artillery. They did not want to build it near cities, nor did they want to build it in an area that might be attacked. Los Alamos seemed to be the perfect place. The book perfectly sets the scene when it states, Los Alamos was a world unto itself, an island in the sky. The scientists felt that it was a very special place. They felt people outside should envy them because they were called to be there and work on such an interesting and important project. A community at Los Alamos was created to isolate the project, and by the end of the 4 years, that community had grown to over 10,000 people.
Obviously, this group was great, for it created such a powerful weapon. There are considerable things that we can take away from these hardworking scientists. Like other great groups, the Manhattan Project tended to look at abilities, not credentials, when matching a person to a job. This allowed the group to be innovative with materials, creative with ideas, and collaborate to construct the first atomic bomb. This great group had a common vision. While the scientists did not always get along all the time, they had an overarching commonality: help build the atomic bomb before the Germans do. This bond helped in creating a weapon that would change the world they knew. Most great groups, however, do have their downfalls. For the Manhattan Project, many scientists were so engaged in the task at hand that the moral implications were not realized at first. The urgency of the situation caused the scientists to escape into their work. After the testing of the bomb, not all the scientists were pleased with the completion of the project. They felt that what they had so zealously made was a monster.
One of the main reasons the project was so successful was because 2 men by the names of Groves and Oppenheimer. Without these 2 men, the Manhattan Project may have never worked. Let's take a quick look at these 2 leaders. Leslie R. Groves was the manager of the Manhattan Project. When the project was starting, the government wanted to find a better leader than Oppenheimer, but Groves challenged the government to find a better person for the project. Groves knew that there wasn't a better person. When they couldn't come up with another, he was pleased. He was the one who stood between the scientists and the government forces. He was hated by the scientists because of his staggering ego, and therefore he largely took the blame for everything that went wrong. He was a hard worker, but he had a knack for saying the wrong thing and getting people angry. He boasted about the fact that Oppenheimer answered to him. Much like Groves, Oppenheimer was an extremely hard worker. In all other facets, Oppenheimer was quite the opposite leader from Groves. While he was at Los Alamos, his demeanor changed to very gentle and understanding to those working under him. As the book states, he was incredibly quick and perceptive in analyzing humans as well as technical problems. He knew how to analyze, organize, cajole, soothe feelings, and how to lead powerfully without seeming to do so. Oppenheimer knew what was going on in each part of the project. He came at a crucial time. Those were the times the scientists were falling apart, but Oppenheimer glued the group back together. From simply looking at Groves and Oppenheimer, we can learn so much about leadership. Leaders care about what each particular member is doing. They have a continuous, intense presence. Leaders do not cause anyone to feel inferior. Leaders are the glue that holds the groups together. Leaders are perceptive and know how to work through problems. Leaders are able to make people feel like they can accomplish more. No matter how difficult, leaders can do what is best to progress. It is necessary to be an ostentatious leader to be a powerful one.
There are so many lessons that we can take into our classroom from these awesome leaders. One of the first things that we can learn is to have empathy. And one of the book quotes, "Heroes who never lose their humanness." And we can also learn to analyze problems and come to a solution. A teacher should challenge their students to dream larger and do more than they ever imagined they could. As teachers, we should look at abilities and individualize. A working environment, it can be exciting, humorous, and playful. Experiences are powerful, and experience can truly change a person and leave a lasting memory. The creation of atomic bombs and introduction of nuclear war warrants strong social, moral, and environmental responsibility. Even though we may know that we have a strong weapon, we have to choose whether to use it. Just because we have the power to do something doesn't mean we always should. What is an example of something you have the power to do, but shouldn't always do?